Hello there. So I want to talk about something that can help you remain grounded when you are dating, and not just when you're dating, but remain grounded when you're single and remain grounded when you are in a relationship and all the stages of a relationship, from courting to when you're engaged to when you're married. And what we want to do, or at least I can say what I want to do and what my clients want to do, is they want to maintain this sense of self, this sense of independence, this sense of confidence. And how do you do that? Now, if you're someone that comes from being like maybe anxiously attached, or you've struggled with insecurity, then this can be difficult. I know this has been such a struggle for me for so long, where I would get into relationships and very, very quickly I would attach, I would enmesh, and then I would lose my sense of self. And I would even go into the relationship not even having a sense of self. I wouldn't even go into the dating season with a sense of wholeness. I was already feeling in some ways kind of like a hole in the donut. So something that can really help is when you have service in your life. And what do I mean by that? When you're being of service in some way in your life, you feel this sense of purpose, and you feel this sense of wholeness, and you feel this sense of being really satisfied to the core, because you're contributing. You're contributing to the planet in a way that you just know that you know that you know is what you're meant to contribute. And we as humans all want to contribute. We all want to have some sense of purpose bigger than us. Otherwise, life can be pretty bleak, and then we're looking to things to fill us up and make us happy. So how do you find this thing called service? Well, for me, I can just tell a story about how face and body painting is something that I do for a living. In fact, I'm sitting in my car waiting to go into an event so that I can set my stuff up and I can paint faces. I didn't know that face painting even existed, and I love it. It feels like a unique service that I was meant to do and meant to contribute to the world. I feel it every time I do it. It just hits the spot. It's kind of like you just know that this came into your life because you didn't make it come into I didn't make it come into my life. It literally fell into my lap. I'm in my flow state, and I can see what happens all around me too, with the kids and how much they love it, and I get paid well for it. The jobs come to me. I don't really ever have to go out and find them. I'm really good at it. It's like my service to the planet. When I'm doing that, I'm not like feeling like, oh, I'm alone and I wish I had a boyfriend, and where's my boyfriend, and where's my da-da-da. No, I'm just so filled up when I'm being of service in this way. Another way that I know that I'm contributing to the planet is when I am working with women. When I am working one-on-one or in a group setting with women that have struggled or are currently struggling with insecurity, with addiction to chaos in relationships, with an addiction to settling for the wrong person, with a repeated pattern of attracting emotionally unavailable people. So when I'm working with women and I'm listening to their stories and I'm offering suggestions, I'm, sharing my victories, my stories with them, I'm giving them kind of action steps that I feel like they would benefit from taking, educating them on certain things like what might be going on psychologically, or how to detect certain kinds of like limiting beliefs that they might have about love and relationships. Like, I feel when I'm working with women like I'm contributing. It's my purpose. I feel it to the core. It's not a question. I just find myself in these places where I don't have to go searching for it. It comes to me. I'm just available for it. So when I'm working one-on-one with women, again, I'm not like, where's my boyfriend? Where's this? Because I feel satiated and I feel content and I feel like I'm contributing to the planet and I'm really happy. There's so much joy because it just hits the spot. So my point is that when we find what we were meant to be of service for in the world, and when we're actively engaging in a lifestyle where we are being of service, like throughout the day as much as we possibly can, right? If you're a volunteer or at your job, or if you're, your purpose is to serve your family or serve your children or serve your community or serve your church. And that's another thing, like serving my church, like singing on the worship team. Those are these moments and these times throughout my life where I'm not sitting there sulking and I'm not feeling bad for myself, wondering where my man is. And filling my life up with as much service as possible makes me feel like I'm coming from a place of wholeness. I'm coming from a place of contentment rather than dating from a place of lack and dating from a place of neediness and dating from a place of I need something outside myself to make me feel okay, to make me feel the same way that I feel when I'm just doing my life being of service. So taking the time to really pray and ask God about, this question, like, what was I uniquely equipped for to be of service? Like, in what way can I be of service that's going to make me feel joy? It's not meant to, like, service can often feel like, oh God, I've got to be of service. Like, I've got to serve. I have to like give. This is going to be daunting. This is going to be boring. This is going to hurt. This is going to take from me. When we are actually giving from a place of overflow, when we're being of service in the way that we're uniquely equipped to be of service, it's actually going to feel like it's coming from an overflow. And the more you're giving, you're actually going to be feeling like you're being fueled. So it's like this infinity loop where the more you're giving, the more you're getting, and the more you're giving and the more you're getting. And it's just like this never ending cycle. So nothing ever feels like you're being depleted. You feel like you're just like gassing up the tank and the gas is going into the car and the car's running, and then the car is like refueling the gas tank and the gas is going into the car and the car's like, obviously that is not really what happens, but it's just kind of a visual of when we're being of service in the way that God intended for us. And then we can be coming from this, we're going to be approaching dating from such a different whole kind of content, confident place. And that feels really good because more abundance is going to attract more abundance. Joy is going to attract more joy. This feeling of wholeness is going to attract a person who is in the same kind of place, like more of a person that's whole and has a very, vibrant life that they're being of service. You'll attract, like attracts like. If you don't know what your unique thing is that you can be of service, on the planet for, then you can pray. You can pray and you can ask, and something could drop into your lap, and it could be like how it was for me, where I was like, I didn't even know face painting existed. And it has now become the number one way that I am of service, and I love it so much. It fills me up in a way that I can't even explain. And it's work, but it brings so much joy to parties and to faces, both adults and children. And it has like a life of its own. And in the same way, when I'm working with women, it's like, I just am like, God, I offer myself to thee to do with me as thy will. Like, just whatever you want me to do here, God, however you want me to be of service, just remove from me any of the things that might get in the way of being useful to you, God. Like, I just want to be useful. And that feeling is better than anything. That feeling is better than anything that money can buy. And that way you're not making this guy or dating, you don't go on a date with a guy and you really, really, really like him, which is great, which is fine. But you don't make him to be your everything, because that's just not what a person's ever meant. That's not the position a person's ever meant to like take in your life, is that they're supposed to be absolutely everything. God is your everything. God is the only thing that can fill your God-shaped hole. And a person is someone that you can do life with that also knows that God fills their God-shaped hole. That you don't fill their God-shaped hole. Only God can fill their God-shaped hole. That person is being of service. And then it's like, you know that they're coming from that place of wholeness and contentment. And you guys can just share stories about like, wow, I was of service in the world and it felt so amazing. And I'm just so grateful that I found my thing. I found my thing to be of service in the world to so many people. And it brings me so much joy. And it's so apparent, right? And so then, yeah, it just becomes something that you share, and you can celebrate their service. They can celebrate your service, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the same, but it could be, right? And in some ways it could be combined. Get into service, be of service wherever you can, and get yourself into a place where your life is filled so much with service, fun service, that when you start dating, you just have a full life. And when you start getting wonky, like, I just started dating after taking some time off, and I was like, oh, I'm so grateful that I have this service to do, because, I can start feeling a little bit emotionally dysregulated because I'm starting to, think about this person and have all these feelings, and because I'm very, very passionate, very feeling person, and like, oh, good, now I can go for a couple of hours and I can go be of service. And then I ran a meeting with a bunch of women last night, and I could be of service, and I could concentrate on something else other than this person, because it's not good to elevate a human being into a position of worship in any way. We're to worship the one true God. It's not to worship work either. We just keep things in their rightful place. God always, in God's rightful place, and then priorities in check. So hopefully that makes sense. I just thought I would kind of riff on that right now. Let me know if that resonates, if you've found what you think your unique contribution is in the world, or if you're still kind of searching for what you think that might be. I can pray for you. I know that when you ask, you will find. So just keep knocking, and the door will be open to you, because God is hearing our prayers, especially when we're like, you know what, God, I just want to be contributing to the kingdom, and we are just trying to bring, heaven onto earth, and love the way that God loves, and do the things that Jesus has taught us to do and how to be. We're bringing the kingdom here on earth, and God will take care of all of our needs. That's what it says. Just concentrate on what I've commissioned you to do, and I will take care of all your basic needs. You will always be fed, you will always be clothed, and just, believing that. So anyway, I'm going to go in and be of service. Thanks for being here. Bye.